Hi, and welcome to the Creative Treehouse. My name is Robin Broom, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Thanks for joining me in the Treehouse today. Today's project is one I'm very excited about. It is a bookbinding card, and I made this card for an open house that we just had to showcase some of the brand new products in the new mini catalog, the January to June 2022 mini catalog, and this features two of those products for sure. And it's bookbinding, my first attempt at it, and a bookbinding card. If you've not made one, it looks like it has kind of a binding end, and it opens like this. And that is all there is to it. And so I'm going to walk you through this whole card, and I'll give you the dimensions and just talk about all the supplies that I used. And if you are in need of any of these supplies and don't already have a demonstrator, I will put all the dimensions and the products on my blog, and you can check it out there. And hopefully you can make one just exactly like this, or change it up a bit and make it your unique own. It doesn't matter to me. I just enjoy sharing what I love. So let's get started with dimensions. The first one that you will need is a piece of the basic gray. That is the card base, and it is cut at 11. Basically, you don't have to cut it at 11. It's already at 11 if you have an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. So it's 11 by 4 1/4. And then you're going to score it at 5 1/2, which is exactly halfway on from the 11, and not only the 5 1/2, but you're also going to score it at 4 1/4. And it's actually the best to, and I didn't do it in this case, or did I? Maybe I did. I scored it at the 5 1/2, and then I flipped it over and scored it at the 4 1/4. And let me show you the reason why. Because this, when I score it here, I've made a valley with my score mark. But what I want to do with that is I want to actually fold that over and make it the opposite. So valleys become mountains, and mountains become valleys. One way I kind of think about it is a mountain making a mountain out of a molehill, if you've ever heard that expression. All right, so, and now we've got, this is the valley here, so we're going to bend it back into a mountain. And there you have your card. Basically, that's all it's going to do. And we can go ahead and get our liquid glue, and we are going to put liquid glue on this section that we scored between the 5 1/2 and the 4 1/4. And we're just going to adhere it so it doesn't move, and that is how you make the binding. So that is all there is to that. And now let's move to some of the other pieces and parts. And let's see, we've got the basic black piece is 4 by 4. And on top of that, we will have another square, and this one is out of the basic gray, and it is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then on the binding part, we will have 3 pieces, and let me flip that the other way. We have the basic black strip, and it is cut at, it is cut at 4 by 1 1/8. So 4 by 1 1/8. And then these two are the same size, they're just a touch smaller. We've got the Sahara Sand, and it is cut at 3 7/8 by 1. So 3 7/8 by 1. And this is the fun, really new, cool paper. It's a vellum paper, vellum designing layers, or layer design paper, and it's in the new mini catalog as well. And we are going to be layering it just like it said. And that is the whole front of the card. The only other parts is we used, let me tell you what we used as far as the stamp set is concerned. And the stamp set also comes from the new catalog, and it is called Flowing Flowers. And we will be using the large flower, the small set of flowers, and we'll be using the thank you sentiment. I've also really liked the happy birthday. All these sentiments have just a really neat font, really classic looking. here is the thank you in that, and here is the happy birthday in that. And I've cut these out using the Tasteful Label dies. So the thank you was cut out with this particular one, and we stamped it in Memento. So I think that's it as far as the front of the card. And then there's also the black baker's twine, and that was wrapped around. And then for the embellishments, it is the matte black dots. And actually there's another set, and I'm not sure which one is the current one, the classic matte dots also. They're pretty much the same. These are the actual ones that I used. So hopefully they're still in the catalog. And let's get started. I think we're ready. So we're going to start, I'll leave everything except for our gray piece, our square, and then we're going to stamp it. Now we're stamping it with a craft ink. Now this is a little bit different than the regular Stampin' Up! Inks. When you order it for the first time, you'll be ordering, basically it's a pair. You'll be getting a stamp pad that's completely empty, ready to be inked, and you get the craft ink with it. Once you already have it, then you can get just the refills. Now the craft ink, the white craft ink, is totally different consistency. It's thicker. It doesn't dry as quickly. And this is a very old stamp pad, but it still functions just fine. All right, so let's get out our big flower, and we're going to ink it up with the craft ink. It's a little, if I didn't already say it, it's sort of sticky. And then I'm going to put it on the bottom left. Kind of give it a little bit of pressure and see if we come up with a really nice stamp. Oh yes, absolutely, that looks wonderful. And then we will take our little stamp from that, slide it over just a bit, and I'm going to stamp two of these, one in the bottom right hand corner, a little bit of pressure, and one in the top left corner. And let's see. Oh, yes, absolutely. So there is that. And now we can start putting the rest of our card together. We did the binding. While this one dries, I'm going to set this aside just a little bit. We're going to grab our the base of our card, and we will put our binding parts together. So we're going to we can first put the vellum on, and to adhere the vellum, on this particular vellum, I think it's fine to use the glue dots. Let me find our glue dots, and I will stick a few of those on because the glue dots will not show through, especially with the words, the script on there. Now this does specialty paper, the designer series paper, the vellum, comes, I think, in at least three different designs. It comes in, each of those is white, one white and one black of those different designs, and it's really, really cool. All right, so I think I've got all my glue dots on, and this is going to line up perfectly with the Sahara sand in the back. All right, and then now we can layer this, and this time we can just use our Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue, and we can glue that to our back strip with it's going to have just a little tiny edge all the way around. And now it's ready to put on our binding section of our card. Let's see if I can make sure I get my script all straight. Now on this one, what I did was I butted it completely up against the score line so that it opens up, and you pretty much have the right amount of border all the way around. All right, next we can put our black, and actually let's go ahead and we can do our, I'm trying to think because I know ours is, this was the fresh one that we just did, and it's going to be wet. And you can use your heat tool and set it if you'd like. Here's one that I made just a few minutes ago, so it should be a little bit drier. So let's use this one, and we'll put our sentiment on, and I'm going to put it on with dimensionals. And I think 4 dimensionals will be just perfect. Just put one in each corner. And pull the backs off. And so that I'm still going to be careful with it, and I'll stick it right down carefully, see if I can line that up. I think I've got it straight. All right, and then we can also put the dots on as well. I'll get my multi-purpose tool, and I used 1 small and 1 large dot. But you can use as many or as few as you would like. Now I like the fact that they're matte. I think it just adds to the classy look of the card. All right, and then I'm going to be very careful because it still might have not dried completely. You could use your heat tool and dry it. And then I'm going to very carefully lay it up on the base, try to miss as much of the white as I can, and adhere it down. And the same, let me see if I can slide it just a wee bit. Maybe, yep. That's the nice thing about the liquid glue, is that it gives you some wiggle room. All right, and then some to the back of the black. And we will adhere here. Then the next thing we'll do is the string, the baker's twine. And I didn't actually measure it out, I just laid it out, and it goes all the way around the card. Just kind of pulling to see, kind of eyeballing it to see how much we might need. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut it off, and then we can cut off more as we need to. Right, so, and I just made my bow, and I made my bow just probably 3/4 of the way up from the bottom. So it can be a little bit tricky. Sometimes I like to make the bunny ear bows. I'm trying very hard not to touch the white in case it's not dry. Let's see if I can pull it through without. All right, I think we are successful. Then you can just kind of move your bow around to get the exact right size where you want it. You can move it, and then to secure it down, I'll use another one of the glue dots. You get my multi-purpose tool, grab up a glue dot, and if you put it right up under where you want the bow, then it's going to stay in place. There, that looks great. All right, now I'm going to see if I can trim. This one looks a little frayed. I may not be able to do it with these scissors. Yep, that looks good. You can get a similar length there. And the only difference in this one and the original one is that the original one, I have an interior, and I believe this was probably a 4x4 in the Sahara sand, and then probably maybe 1/2 inch smaller on the basic black. And I also thought about adding maybe a piece of the vellum, the layering design vellum over there, but you do whatever floats your boat and makes your heart happy. So this one really makes my heart happy, and I hope you enjoyed watching. Let me see if I feel like I need to pull the bow just a little bit more. All right, and I hope you get to try this project. I also hope that if you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, that you would consider doing that. So my goal is to try to make a video a week, and also to try to reach 1,000 subscribers. So thanks so much for watching in the Treehouse today, and I hope that you'll join me next time for another project. And I will see you next time in the Treehouse. Bye-bye.